All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Red Blur Gaming. As you can see, we are looking at Game 4, which turned out to be a big fat W. A lot of fun. The young fella I played is an absolute champion. Good vibes, good laughs. And as far as I'm concerned, I can't ask for much better, can't complain. And we will crack in and get into this because it's the way it is. And again, round 4, BGO Open, Blood Angels v Tau. As you can see, guys, list is there. Nothing changed. Same running of the way the unit worked. Same stuff. Two broadside battle suits. What have we got there? 12 crisis suits. The Ghost Gill, Piranha, Riptide. 9 stealth suits, Vespid, and 2 units of Kroot, which was 20 Kroot total. The 2 commanders, Shadow Sun and Farsight. Shadow Sun did bugger all again, which she did for most of the game. It's just that possibility that when you use a strategy within 6 of her, you can re-roll it on a 4+ and it costs you nothing, which is really what I was trying to get out of her. Plus, you can just set an objective. She gives an aura to something else. I think it's +1 to wound as well. I really should remember because sometimes it can be quite handy. But yeah, list hasn't changed. 750 points in 750 points in Deep Strike. So yeah, let's jump into the next slide and we'll go from there. All right, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we have mission Q, which was supply drop sweeping engagement. I'm not a huge fan of sweeping engagement. Just don't like the way that it sits on the board in terms of the amount of deployment you have. For Tau, it's way too close. But I deployed in a manner that really kind of must have frustrated poor Rylie, who was my opponent, one of the young fellas from our local scene. But yeah, good fun, good value, a good laugh. I'd played his Blood Angels before. He had some of the new models in there, which was pretty cool, but nothing really much had changed apart from that, which meant he was going to be quite fighty and aggressive. So I just allowed him to come out in the open, and yeah, we went from there. I was the defender, and Rylie went first. So we'll look at T1. I will say that I forgot to take photos T4 and 5, so the photos from T3 are repeated for 3 rounds. My apologies, but there was a lot of craziness happen in those 3 rounds, 3 rounds of photos, which is kind of frustrating that I didn't take any. But yeah, Rylie took fixed, bring it down, and storm hostile due to the fact that I had so many crisis suits, which were all vehicles, the Ghost Kill, the Riptide, the Piranha. So he was looking at getting rid of some stuff to really take my vehicles down and hopefully bring it down from that. He thought I might jump on objectives and be able to storm hostile. He might score a few. He was hoping he'd get the full 10 out of 10. Wrong, full 20 out to bring it down. Which probably would have swung the game a little closer in the end. But yeah, as we go through T1, nothing was really doing for supply drop. No one could score. The guy got marked for death and secure no man's land, which I managed to do both in a way that kept me alive, units alive, and just allowed Rylie to then come out in the open attack me. So I was definitely holding all of the scoring in the first round, making it 0-7. But yeah, it was pretty cruisy first turn. Quick, Rylie moved, couldn't shoot anything. And yeah, I then moved and took objectives, hoping that when I come to my turn 2, that I'd still hopefully be holding onto objectives, weighted numbers, and I would be all good. So as we jump into turn 2, as you can see there, Rylie being behind on the scoreboard managed to get his challenger card and then also get 5 VP from supply drop. He definitely attacked my units, got rid of my croup, which meant that I was not holding on to an objective anymore. Well, only holding on to one out of the two. He moved up, and I kind of shifted around and gave myself the ability to then shoot at some of his stuff. I actually got rid of a few of his units off the board at this stage, which was somewhat lucky. And I also brought crisis suits down. I was not messing about. I thought, fuck it, let's get everything on the table. Excuse the French. Let's get everything on the table ASAP. I managed to score 2 points from no prisoners, and only half the score of established locust, which gave me again. Look, I scored 9 versus Riley's 8. Going to the end of T2, 10-16. I'm still in front. Riley then will be able to gain the challenger card again in turn 3, which he did, and I'm pretty sure when we jump over, he scored it. So we jump into T3, and it became a bit of an entertaining turn. Riley really did well, managed to storm hostile objective and get rid of a unit for bring it down. Scored another 5 points from supply drop and got 3 from burst of speed. I scored nothing from primary, but managed to score overwhelming force for all of it and engage on all fronts for 2 points. Had definitely done a little bit of work, killed a lot of stuff, and this is where the game really swung in terms of how it was going. Riley found that now he had not enough on the board, and I could just do what I wanted to do. Well, Riley managed to get in front of me. It didn't make much difference over the next couple of turns because inevitably killing as many units as I did so quickly, I will say I got lucky with the dice rolls. I rolled hot as hell. It was probably about time that I had a game where I rolled well for everything. The next game is going to be more entertaining because I rolled mediocre on wounds and damage, but I rolled every save roll under the sun, which really then led to a very interesting victory against AdMech robots. Me being able to shoot the absolute living bejeebers off the table of everything. But yeah, got rid of a lot of Riley's big stuff, which meant that he wasn't quite at the position where he could really do much. It just meant that for the next couple of turns, I was just going to score big. So we jump into turn 4. As I said, guys, same photos. Look, Riley did well because I had backed off all the objectives just to readjust myself. He was holding enough. He had 2. I had none because I pulled out, which makes no sense because I was actually holding 1 objective in no man's land. Silly, silly me. I've made mistakes. The scores are disgustingly getting worse, actually, to be honest, given that I know in turn 4 that I held an objective, and so did Riley had 2. Anyway, uh, maybe that's I mixed the scores up and I scored Riley 2 and me none, and it should have been the other way around. Because as you can see, I'm technically holding 3 in that photo, which wouldn't have counted until, my turn. So I don't know what happened there. I think the scores may have got confused and messed up. Riley managed to outscore me because he had the 16 VP. He didn't score any secondaries, didn't get the challenger because he was in front. And then I scored 9 out of 9 possible with Storm Hostile and Tempting Target. So that's where I went into turn 5. And turn 5 was a fun one for me. To be honest, I don't know what I've done with the scoring. For some reason, I think I made a lot of boo boos and forgot to add because I didn't take photos because I forgot about it. I can't even check to make sure, but I was on at least, I should have been on possibly on 2 objectives in turn 5 as well, meaning that the scores just blown out because primary is 15. Rylie scored nothing on supply, no secondaries. I got the challenger card and scored it, which was opportunity strike. I got 6 on 6 out of sabotage, and I got full extend battle lines. Yeah, I'm guessing that I pulled out of an objective to get extend battle lines, which is a little crazy. Maybe I was trying to do both. Maybe I forgot to score properly. I know I could have gotten onto objectives given the amount of units I had, and I would have been able to score 30 on supply drop. Overall, 70 to 48. I'm going to go with it's probably closer to 93-48, given that I think I've made some mistakes on the secondaries and where I didn't take photos kind of shot me in the foot, so I can't even check. But I'm knowing that from memory I was on multiple objectives, allowing me to score a lot of stuff. If I got all of extend battle lines, which is at least, well, I had my home and 1 in no man's, so I'm knowing that I would have scored 2 in no man's because I probably didn't move. Sabotage. I got onto my opponents. I completed sabotage within my opponent's deployment zone, so obviously I jumped one of my units off, but knowing that I could have gotten onto 3 objectives at least, I held 2. Big win, which means I made mistakes. I probably would have played somewhat different rather than playing Nick, who was I played next. But yeah, Rylie was a good value. He ended up going on and getting the wooden spoon for coming last, which he absolutely loved. Thought it was the funniest thing in the world, and he was quite happy with himself. But yeah, wrapping the game up. As you can see there, I've got 67-48, but now I've gone back through and thought about it. I think the scores were a lot closer to 93-48. Obviously, we get 10 out of 10 for 10 VP for battle ready, so almost a 100-point game for me. Had I scored a little early with a couple of things, I would have got there. But I can't complain. Got the first one off the board, and just had to remember that my profiles are something that I've forgotten to do, forgotten to learn. Not forgotten to learn, just remember the special abilities of the crisis suits that I have. And given that RatCon is coming up next month, we're approximately 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out. Yep, it's exactly 4 weeks from just the weekend just gone. Do have a unit I've got to finish painting between now and then, which is going to be fun. I'm going to have to rip into that over the next couple of weeks. So they're done, and then attempt to get a couple of practice games in between now and that actual point in time. But as per normal, guys, that's all from me. This video will go up overnight and be ready for you to watch tomorrow. Yeah, thanks very much for sticking around and listening to what I do. Thank you for all of those who have subscribed, all the new subscribers I've got. Thanks for the shout outs, for people tagging me in their videos, which I do want to thank one person in particular when I managed to get it up. Mini Model Maker. Hopefully you guys can go and give him a follow. He's also on a journey of building Tau. Check it out. His Tau look amazing. But yeah, hopefully one day there will be collaboration between the two of us or someone or anyone else. I'm definitely looking forward to being able to do that. But yeah, as per normal, thanks for sticking around, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.